But anyway, no, the first time I heard Totally Insane would have been in '92, and I brought here a couple of their pictures of the early press releases. This is like from the In a Minute days.
Oh shit.
And again, Totally Insane, an amazing group, but ahead of their time. Like, you know, as they would say, fools be sleeping, they couldn't get in with it. And many things, you know, throughout the years with Totally Insane. And this is when they were on In a Minute. We're all a little insane, so why not go all the way? Go Totally Insane, direct from the Backstreet.
Oh shit.
And, you know, the connection, of course, TC, the producer, who also worked with RBL. So everything kind of tied together. And that's, again, another example of how close-knit the Bay Area rap/hip-hop community was. Artists constantly collaborating, and there was always like some relation. You know, Mac Mall and Dre Dog connecting. All these different people. It was not uncommon. JT the Big Figure. You know, so many different people working with others within the Bay. And it's always been a tradition, I think, in the Bay Area more than any other city.
And I remember way back in the days when Totally Insane was brought up. Shit had to be like mid-90s. I didn't even know about him, but my cousin JJ, of course, he gave me the game, showed me what's up. Slapping in them 15s, man. It's epic.
When was the first time that I ever heard Totally Insane? Bruh, that's a subconscious mind, dude. You hearing it, but you just don't know you're hearing it until you identify it. And it came out a minute ago. I think '99 is when I was really blazing to it though, at the parties. You know what I'm saying? And it was
When
totally
was the
insane.
first time I heard Totally Insane direct from the Backstreets? Oh man, it had to have been 92, 93. You know, I remember hearing a lot about them once again on California Music Channel, because you know all the commercials, In a Minute Records, you know them with RBL, and I think Dre Dog was on that label, and IMP. So you know it's legendary shit. But first time I really remember like peeping them out, there was a Samoan chick I used to know back in the day. And shit, I still know her, matter of fact, but I ain't gonna mention no names or nothing. But yeah, man, she liked that song I Don't Even Trip, when he said, and people say I look like a Samoan. You know, yeah, she used to bump that song all the time. And then shit, you know my favorite song on that motherfucker is the one Tell Me What You Know, with the little Idris Muhammad beat. But man, that whole album was slapping, man. That's a town classic. Shout out to Phil and Ad, you know my partners, OGs from the neighborhood, and shout out the whole East Palo Alto, man. Totally Insane is a pride of the town. With Totally Insane, man, you know I know Chunk came out first. You know Shanti was making noise, but for some reason, man, like everybody, like no matter where you go, when you say you from East Palo Alto, the first thing they're gonna say is Totally Insane. You know, so major shout out to Phil and Ed for putting that there.
The next question is how Totally Insane became. It started young, like I say, right after UTFO and Roxanne is what got me into learning how to write raps and putting bars together and writing in song format. Before Totally Insane, and we was going to Ravenswood Middle School, we had a group called KOD, the Kings of Death, and we used to do like talent shows and assemblies. It was just a group of us that came together, cats at the school that knew how to rap, all just came together and just put their talent together. You know, it was like a super group. From there, we started doing talent shows, school assemblies, you know, in Martin Luther King Day or Christmas or Halloween or Thanksgiving assemblies at the schools to go up there and bust little raps and shit. Our teacher, Miss East, our English teacher, Miss East, she used to respect and love what we was doing. So after school, she used to open up her classroom and let us come in her classroom and practice our shit and get in the cipher and circle and bust freestyles. And She was helping us out, like, y'all need to do this, y'all should do this, and she really was helping us out. It was a talent show in San Jose called the Jabberwock. I think that's where the Jabberwockies got their name from. Yeah. It was like a talent search thing called Jabberwock back in the late 80s in San Jose. It was like a big talent show. She signed us up for it. Somehow she got us into it. We did the Jabberwock, and we didn't win, but that was kind of like gave us a spark. The crowd was cheering like a motherfucker. We didn't win, but the crowd liked us, and that's what gave us the confidence to start really doing this shit. You know. After a while, once we went to high school, everybody from KOD Kings of Death started moving away. You know, Doc Louie moved to Texas. My nigga Donnie Fambro moved to Sacramento. My nigga $10 moved to Mountain View. Everybody just started going their separate ways. Me and Doc Louie got back with each other. Doc Louie moved back to PA. And him and his brother Bob was living with their mom. So me and Doc Louie came up with a group called Facing Reality. We started doing demos and recording and shit. And back in my house in Menlo Park used to be a Music Annex. Music Annex was like a studio / manufacturing company, you know what I'm saying? Too Short used to get his Born to Mac CDs pressed up over there. We used to go in there, break in and steal a box full of Born to Mac CDs and sell them motherfuckers on the block. Sorry, shout out to my nigga Too Short. Sorry we had to bootleg your shit, but you know what I'm saying? We used to go over there and record. That shit was like $100 an hour. Real talk. She was like $100 an hour. We used to record on big ass 2-inch reels and shit. So we used to have to go in there and have our shit tight. We tried to knock out 2 songs in an hour. We used to have that shit tight. We came up with a group called Face of Reality. We did the talent show at Kelly Park. I got a song called I Don't Even Trip off the first Totally Insane album. And kind of go into the history and tell the story of that. To make the long story short, me and Doc Louie came back. We did Face of Reality. We did the Doc Louie. At that time, the funk started in East Palo Alto. I'm from Midtown. Doc Louie from C Street. At that time, those two places started funking with each other. Big war broke out in East Palo Alto. Niggas was shooting at each other. Niggas got killed behind the shit. My nigga Rufus Tooks got killed. Shout out to my nigga Rufus Tooks. He was the first one that died in that war. And since after that death, that kicked it off in East Palo Alto. So by me being from one side of the town and Doc Louie being from the other side, a lot of niggas didn't want us to make music together. A lot of niggas didn't want us to fuck with each other. It was some real serious shit going on. But we were still going behind it, sneaking around and doing music together, recording and putting demos and shit out. Talent show at Kelly Park came. We decided we could perform together. Our intention, our thought, and our intention, and our dream was to bring the whole town together. You know what I'm saying? To end the funk and bring the town back together. So we did the talent show at Kelly Park. And during the performance, motherfuckers started arguing, motherfuckers started fighting, and a shootout broke out in Kelly Park. A couple people got shot, nobody died. Police came, shut the shit down. Times Tribune did a newspaper article the next day or a couple of days later and blamed us for the whole shit.
Times Tribune?
Yeah, Times Tribune.
I remember that. My mom used to work there.
They did a newspaper article on the talent show and blamed us for the whole shit.
That's probably why they
Rap group Facing Reality caused violence at the Kelly Park talent show where a few people got shot and yada yada yada. Police was called and ambulance called and
that's probably why they ain't around no more.
Right. So the article came out in the newspaper and instead of it making us look bad, it kind of gave us props, like kind of blew our name up, kind of like, you know what I'm saying, like
all publicity.
Yeah, but at the same time, shit went down after that, and shit just got bad after that. The funk really jumped off. And Doc Louie's mom moved him back to Texas to get him out the funk. During the time when Doc Louie moved back to Texas, my nigga $10 had moved back from Mac 10. $10 had moved back from Mountain View. He would start going to Carmont, to my high school. We linked back up. One day, getting off the bus from Carmont, the bus stop was on New Bridge. In front of my folks had a candy store right there. They used to sell nachos and candy and sodas and chips and all kind of shit. The bus stop was right there, so I jumped off the bus. I had to walk down Westminster. Well, in Westminster, it was a famous hustling family called the Washington family. Michael Washington was one of the, neighborhood kingpins, neighborhood drug dealers. He passed away, so I could say don't know if Saul his name. Michael Washington was like a neighborhood hero, like the neighborhood Superman, neighborhood kingpin. Used to look out for the community and shit though. Had a lot of love in the city. So I got off the bus. I was walking down past his house. He was out the front washing his car, and he was like, "Hey, Ed." He knew my mom. My mom had babysat him when he was younger, so our family was real close with each other. His mom and my mom was real close. He said, "Hey, Ed, I was at the talent show, man. I seen y'all niggas, man. Y'all niggas was rocking, man. Y'all pretty good." He's like, "Y'all ever thought about recording some shit? Y'all ain't never been to the studio recording no shit?" I had a little bit of experience in the studio. My nigga Doc Louie, Uncle Jabo, had a little 4-track studio in his house that he used to let us come through and record, fuck around and do demos and shit at. So I told Mike, I was like, "Yeah, we go to Jabo house and record a couple of demos. I let him hear one of the demos." He's like, "Yeah, that sounds pretty good, man. Y'all need to." He's like, I tell y'all what, man, why don't you find out what it take to record your shit and let me know, nigga, I'll help you. You know what I'm saying? I'll help you out. I know you ain't got the money, I'll help you pay for some of that shit. So I went home, did my research. My boy Zero Lark had put out a demo. He had went to San Francisco to Bankroll Studio and with an engineer named TC, and he had put out a couple little songs that he was passing out in the neighborhood, selling it. West Sounds had his single and had his EP out in the store and shit. And a lot of niggas in the neighborhood was bumping this shit. So he came through my block one day and I flagged him down. I was like, "Hey man, I'm trying to I got your tape, man. I'm trying to put my shit together. What do I need to do?" He gave me TC number, Bankroll Studio number. So I called TC. I set up an appointment. I went around there. I got he charged me $30 an hour. I took all the information back to Mike D. Mike, I gave Mike all the information. He gave me a brown paper bag full of money, like a little brown paper sack full of bread. He said, "Here, just count this up, see if that's gonna be enough." I got it, took it, put it in my backpack, ran around the house, threw it on my bed, counted out. It was like 3,500. You know what I'm saying? I think it was like 3 G's, 3,500. I called TC. I set up an appointment, got the directions, went out there. When I got to the studio, Bankroll Studio, the first person that I met that unlocked the door for us was Kugna. Rest in peace, my nigga Kugna. Kugna from IMP, legend, Bay Area legend. He opened the door for us. And I asked him, "Is TC here?" He's like, "Oh yeah, in the back." So I went to the back, met TC. We sat down and chopped it up for a minute. I explained to him what we was trying to do, me and my nigga Doc Louie. I gave him money. I think I bought like 100 hours. Yeah. I think I bought like 100 hours. We set up for the next Friday. So after school the next Friday, I went up there and we started making beats. We started recording. We started bringing ideas and started making shit. Fast forward, I already had the studio time booked. My nigga Doc Louie had to go back to Texas. His mom had moved him back to Texas. My nigga Mac 10 had came back. So we started, plus my homegirl, we had a girl in the group, MC Silk was in the group at the time. Mike D and Zero Lark had fell out. Zero Lark had joined our group for a minute. They had fell out. We had recorded like 2 songs. We had a song called Two Stoves, and we had a song called damn, we had another little bang on that song to a James Brown beat. Me, Silk, Zero Lark, and 10 had a nice ass song to one of the old school James Brown beats. I think it was called I forgot the name of the song. Two Stoves. It's called Two Stoves. Mike and Andre had fell out. Zero Lark had fell out. Mike kicked Zero out the group. It was me, Silk, and 10. We had recorded a demo out with TC. And right before the demo album was finished, Silky got pregnant and left the group. She was like, I'm finna go have my baby, I ain't rapping no more. She left the group. So it was down to me and 10. At this time, our chemistry with TC was, you know what I'm saying, we had worked with TC for about like a year and a half, 2 years by the time all this had happened. So we had pretty good chemistry with TC. So T was like, man, fuck it, man. Why don't y'all two niggas just, you know, do an album together, just come up with an album, you know, y'all two, the last 2 left. Y'all niggas just come up with just be the group. He was like, cool. So we like, we need a name for this motherfucker though. The first name that we picked out before Totally Insane, it was gonna be called 10,000 Maniacs. But it was already a rap group, it was already a rock and roll group called that. The next name that we came with was NGC, Niggas Gone Crazy. But that was too much like NWA, niggas with attitudes. TC like, nah, nigga, fuck that shit, nigga. Y'all need your own shit. He's like, nigga, y'all East Palato niggas is totally insane. Y'all need to come up with some crazy shit.
True.
He was like, totally insane?
That's really a term, too.
That's really a term. Y'all niggas,
51,
y'all East Palato niggas is totally insane. You know what I'm saying? So we was like, nigga, that's it. Nigga, totally insane, nigga. And from that point on, nigga, shout out to my nigga TC. That's been the name. So now we established the name, we start working on music. We put together like 13 songs. We had an album called Crazy Shit. This was before Direct from Backstreet.
That song Crazy Shit that's my shit right there.
Crazy Shit and From A to D was the 2 songs that on that album.
A to D.
Yeah. From A to D was the first song I ever recorded in the studio.
Really?
As far as a solo song, that was the first
just
solo.
gold.
That was the first solo song I ever recorded. Crazy Shit was the first. No, 10 had already had some other shit. The Crazy Shit album was gonna be dope. We had some dope shit for the Crazy Shit album. We had a song called Purpin' for the Suckers. 10 had a song called Gangsta Material to the old school DJ Quick song, Born and Raised in Compton.
Oh, the Ice Hands beat.
10 had that beat first, before that shit even came out.
10, I know that's
That shit was hard as fuck. We had that. We had 10 had another song called off the old Luther Vandross beat. Was that Luther Vandross? No, off the old da 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 dum 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 of Frankie Beverly and Mays. Ba 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 da da dum dum dum. Frankie Beverly and Mays. I forgot the name of the song. My mom loved that song though. He had a song called.
Now I'm trying to think of more freaking.
Doom doom doom. Da 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 da. They played it all the fucking.
You talking about the one Beyonce one did? That one?
Did she do it? Did she do something to that? I think she probably
I
did.
think she did do the.
It's a Frankie Beverly and Mays song, but he flipped it. He did
What was the name of that goddamn song?
How to Treat a Bitch. He had a song called How to Treat a Bitch.
The cookout song not too long ago, right?
That shit is like the whenever you do a family reunion, that's the song everybody do the electric slide to.
I remember that JT one took it too. Didn't JT? Guess
Dum,
what's
dum,
going
dum.
on?
Before I let go.
Yep.
Before I let go.
That's it. Beyonce one redid that.
10 had a song to that called damn, what was the name of that? That shit was hard as fuck. But he named
Goddamn,
It was so cold, he named everybody from East Palo Alto in that motherfucker.
Damn.
All the hustlers and well-known niggas from East Palo Alto and all the sets and cities and shit. He named all that shit in that song. That was like the East Palo Alto anthem. And that was gonna be on Crazy Shit album. He had that, Gangsta Material, and Crazy Shit. I had From A to D, and I had a song called Trouble Man. I did to an old Marvin Gaye beat.
Trouble Man beat.
Yeah, Trouble Man beat. Yeah.
That's a movie too.
Yeah. And we had an album called Crazy Shit. Before we could put the shit out, Mike got killed. Mike got murdered. The album was done. We already took the album. We already took the album cover. The album was in the press. Mike got killed. Right after Mike got killed, his brother Chris had took over. His brother Ray was in prison, and Chris had took over. And it was a group called Black Dynasty out at the time. Mike D had started Black Dynasty, and then after he died, Chris took over Black Dynasty out of Oakland. Shout out to my niggas Black Dynasty. You know, they had the at that time, 1990, Public Enemy was big, Poor Righteous Teachers was big, X-Clan was big, the Black Power music was big at that time. You know what I'm saying? So Chris felt that their style of music at that time would have popped harder than our style of music. You know, we was into that gangster shit, that street shit, and they shit was more Black Power, more positive type shit. At the time, Chris felt that their style of music would have blew up harder than ours, so his idea was to put us on the back burner and put out Black Dynasty. We wasn't feeling that.
I understand.
You feel me? So it was conflict. It came, a board down, and we left him. We left Chris. We like, fuck the project. We just kind of like trashed the Crazy Life out, Crazy Shit out. Another neighborhood nigga that was real reputable in the neighborhood and was actually Mike D's protege was my nigga Manny the Black. Shout out to my nigga Manny the Black. He had respect in the hood. He was the heir to Mike D's throne. Mike D really had love for him and would teach him ropes, and that's who's, all the street niggas respected Manny, and that's who Mike's heir to the throne was. You know what I'm saying? How Felix Mitchell passed the game down to Lil D.
Yeah.
In East Palo Alto, we felt that Mike D passed the game down to Manny the Black. So we got at Manny the Black, and that's who put out Direct from the Backstreet album. Before we put out Direct from the Backstreet, we had approached Chris Washington, us, and Manny the Black had approached Chris Washington and was trying to get the album. Manny was willing to release the Crazy Shit album, but we couldn't come, Chris was just kind of, I don't know what the problem was, but he was kind of like just on some other shit. He was kind of like, man, fuck that album, man. We just gonna scrap that shit and make a whole new album. So back to TC, we brought Manny the Black in. We introduced Manny the Black to TC. Manny the Black bought us a whole. Yeah, so just to make this a long story short, we recorded Direct from the Backstreet with TC. Manny the Black booked the session. We recorded Direct from the Backstreet and dropped it. The shit blew up out the door, man, immediately. As soon as we pressed the CDs up and got the motherfuckers to the stores, this was off and running. Within a couple months, shit, we had already slung about 10,000 CDs, 15,000 CDs out my motherfucking house.
Damn.
Within the first couple of weeks, you know what I'm saying?
How many?
At least 15,000.
God damn.
Within the first month, just hand to hand.
Right?
Just like this. It was moving too fast for us. We couldn't even contain that shit. And a lot of motherfuckers, 15,000 CDs, it might not sound like a lot, but that's a lot of fucking CDs. When a box like this only contained 500. So imagine what 15,000 is.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a a lot. That's a room full of
That's a whole we had a whole room full of CDs and tapes.
Yeah, bro.
It was moving so fast that we couldn't keep up with it, and that's how we had met music people. Intermittent Records was music people first. It was like a distribution company. Music people / Intermittent Records. Music people was the distribution side, so that's what we was dealing with through the distribution. I forgot exactly how we was introduced to music people. They was out of Oakland. I forgot how we got introduced to them, but we got introduced to them. Then City Hall. City Hall was another distribution company back then. And our shit was moving so fucking fast, we couldn't keep it on the shelf. And we eventually signed to the label side of the music people, which is Intermittent Records. And that's when we signed to Intermittent Records. After we signed to Intermittent Records, Direct from Backstreet blew up, took off even more, you know what I'm saying? Because now we have unlimited copies, unlimited press, you know what I'm saying? It ain't on us, it ain't up. You know, back then, you press up some CDs, you gotta wait a couple weeks for them motherfuckers to come back. Fuck with Intermittent Records, it was immediate turnaround, you know what I'm saying? So that shit took the fuck off. After Direct from the Backstreet blew up, we signed to Intermittent Records. TC produced RBL's So Let's To Learn album. And that's when we did G's by the 1-2-3s with RBL. That was actually a record that was supposed to be on Direct from the Backstreet album. But actually it was going to be on our next album, our Going Insane album. That was the first song that we had recorded. But RBL, Let's To Learn, was about to drop, so we just put it on RBL album, which I'm glad we did because that shit took the fuck off.
Classic.
Yeah. After they recorded Let's Do Learn, TC and my manager Tony Peaks, which we had the same us and RBL had the same manager at the time. Us, RBL, and Dre Dog. Shout out to my nigga Dre Dog, Andre Nicotina. We all had the same manager, Tony Peaks, Tony Jackson. So a lot of the deals that we did was usually deals with all three of us involved. Us, RBL, and Dre Dog involved. You know what I'm saying? And then 11-5 came afterwards, and you know we was doing a lot of shit with them. But TC and Tony Jackson is who walked RBL into Intermittent Records and came out with the Let's To Be Learned album, and the rest is fucking history after that. We did Going Insane with Intermittent Records, which was our second album. After the success of Direct from the Backstreets, we was kind of like in a fucked up situation. We was like, Direct from the Backstreet is like a classic. So we was kind of like worried about how was we gonna follow up a classic, you know, like that. And at the same time, the music was changing. Dr. Dre dropped The Chronic in 1992, 1993. So the whole fucking face of music, the whole face of rap was changing. The whole sampling game was kind of like going out the window, and niggas was playing shit over, and the mini moog and synthesizers and keyboards shit was coming into play.